So here we are at the Delridge wetland. We've got the neighbors have their 3 dumpsters parked out in the street, and the ducks seem to like it. So we do have some charred wood from bonfires laying around. There are some little baby western red cedar trees that we planted last year for Duwamish cleanup day. There's 3 of these left here. And there is a bunch of black cottonwoods. So the one in the middle there is got a big cavity on it, and it's pretty much hollow. So that was the one that we recommended City Light get out of there, and then they went and transferred the property to Parks. So that now it gives Parks the wherewithal to do it, since Seattle City Light refused. And then if we look up, we can see that that tree has been topped, and all of these trees have been topped, but that one is the biggest one. And out of the 7 here, so this is kind of some of the topping cuts. There's also 2 ash trees here. And here's this one's pretty big. This one's on the corner on the northeast, and it's got a bunch of repeat offender pruning on it. And then there are these wires right across the street. So all these trees threaten the wires, according to City Light and Parks. So they're saying that they shouldn't be retopped, that there's no guarantee that there will be a budget in 5 years to retop them again, so that they don't continue to threaten the wires. Let's just look a little bit about the trunks. This one's about 10 feet wide, and they just look at them as risks. They don't regard this asset as overpowering any of the risk. So they just want to preemptively remove this tree that occupies this 10-foot wide chunk of land here. And they're in good company. I mean, you know, here's a little clump of 2 that has one little cat face. They've got some cavities in here. You know what we ought to do is just stick a stick in here, see what we can see. Say we had this stick, and so basically it's about 3 foot long from where my finger is. So if we stick it in there, ooh man, look at that. It's going in over 3 feet. So maybe they got a point. That's how hollow it is. So this one has a girdling root. It's got some trunk issues here. The bark is missing from a good chunk of the trunk. And there's a girdling root right here. It kind of wraps around the trunk. There's a cavity on a root right here where the 2 trees touch each other above ground. There's some damage with the bark removed. And so then here's a freestanding tree, maybe 30-inch diameter at standard height, and then right behind it a twin clump of 2. So if we were to look at this one, we would see the root flare, pretty distinct. This tree is occupying a good over 4 feet, close to 5 feet of soil. So there just is no replacing these. So when we're going to talk about removing them, we should definitely talk about the fact that they're irreplaceable. As we walk around this tree, we see it's got two trunks right here. This main fork looks like it's in pretty good shape. It's not scot-free. There's some issues. Here's a cavity that's exposed. We should probably stick something in there to probe that cavity and find out what's going on there. So here's the bad one. This is the one I don't like. There's actually a couple here. It's right next to an ash tree. So one of our questions is, does the tree removal operation have the ability to not damage the ash tree? That shouldn't be too hard. Let's look where the ash tree on the right little skinny one goes up. So it's missing its top. It's got new tops. And then the cottonwood basically towers over it. So that might be a tall order. And then there's some big leaf maple right next to it inside of a clump of roses. We'd like to keep those. Here's an old stump nearby. So this is probably what these stumps will look like after the logging operation. Let's find out. So here we are at the Delridge wetland.